यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरा भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरा भक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरा भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे छाया गंधर्विका गिरिधारी गंधर्विका गिरिधारी गौर हरि Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jaya Subhadramai. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. So we'll be reading today from second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, first sloka. So I think you are having in your mobile. Yes. The sloka. You can just open. First verse. Sloka number 1. From second chapter, first sloka. Okay, second chapter. Should I start? Are you able to open? Okay? Yeah. Okay. Sanjaya Uvacha Tam Tatha Kripayavishtham Ashnupurna Kulekshanam Vishidantam Idam Vakyam Uvacha Madhusudanaha Sanjaya Uvacha Tam Tatha Kripayavishtham Ashnupurnam Kulekshanam Vishidantam Idam Vakyam Vacha Madhusudanaha Sanjaya Vacha Tam Tatha Kripayavishtham Ashnupurnam Kulekshanam Vishidantam Idam Vakyam Vacha Madhusudanaha. Want to read? Yeah. Sanjaya Uvacha Tam Tata Kripaya Vishtam Ashnupurna Kulekshanam Vishidantam Idam Vakyam Vacha Madhusudanaha. Mataji, you want to recite? Okay. So, okay. Then we will read the word by word meaning. Sanjaya Uvacha. Sanjaya said. Tam. Up to Arjuna. Tatha. Thus. Kripya. By compassion. Avishtam. Overwhelmed. Asrupurna. Akula. Full of tears. Ikshanam. Eyes. Visidantam. Lamenting. Idam. These. Vakyam. words Uvacha said, Madhushudanaha, the killer of Madhu. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Sanjaya said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudhan, Krishna spoke the following words. Please repeat. Sanjaya said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana, Krishna spoke the following words. Purport. Material compassion, lamentation, and tears are all sign of ignorance of the real self. Compassion for the eternal soul is self-realization. The word Madhusudana is significant in this verse. Lord Krishna killed the demon Madhu, and now Arjuna wanted Krishna to kill the demon of misunderstanding that has overtaken him in the discharge of his duties. No one knows where compassion should be applied. Compassion for the dress of a drowning man is senseless. A man fallen in the ocean of nescience cannot be saved simply by rescuing his outward dress, the gross material body. One who does not know this and laments for the outward dress is called Shudra, or the one who laments unnecessarily. Arjuna was a Kshatriya, and this conduct was not expected from him. Lord Krishna, however, can dissipate the lamentation of the ignorant man, and for this purpose the Bhagavad Gita was sung by him. This chapter instructs us in self-realization by an analytical study of the material body and the spirit soul, as explained by the Supreme Authority Lord Sri Krishna. This realization is possible when one works without attachment to fruity results and is situated in the fixed conception of the real self. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-salakaya Chakshurunmilitam menam Tashmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitamena Bhulate Swayamarupa Kadamayam Dadati Swavadantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutpadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Shagrajatam Shahaguna Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lita Sri Vishakhan Vintam Cha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpati Gopesh Gopika Kanta Sri Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Sri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Pancha Kalpataruvesha Kripa Sindhu Eva Chapatita Nam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. He Krishna Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, welcome all of you for the today evening Bhagavad Gita class. We'll be discussing from the first chapter, first sloka. So, I hope that you are coming regularly to this program. Okay. Okay. So, no problem. I'll just talk briefly about the first chapter and then connect the first chapter with this, and then we'll continue the discussion for this first sloka. So, in the first chapter, it starts with, like, we know that Arjuna was Krishna is become the chariot driver for his devotee Arjuna. And then Arjuna was sitting in the chariot and he requests Krishna to take me in the center of the battlefield so that I can see who is there in opposite side. And then Krishna, as instructed, takes the chariot to the center, and there the Arjuna sees, like, all his relatives, his fathers, his maternal uncles, his teachers, everybody with whom he played, they are there. And seeing them there, he becomes overwhelmed with the grief. He starts lamenting, what I am doing is right or wrong. He starts having doubt in the work, what he's supposed to do. And then he he takes his Gandiv, his bow and the arrow, and places it on ground. That means on his chariot, that I am not going to fight further, and sit down. Now, seeing that, that is where the first chapter completes. Right? So now we'll be discussing the second chapter, the first sloka, where the Sanjaya Uvacha, the Sanjay is speaking to Dhritarashtra. Right? Dhritarashtra Maharaj is there, and then Sanjay is speaking to him. Because Dhritarashtra was blind, he could not come to the battlefield. So he was getting narration of what is happening in the battlefield through the Sanjay. So what Sanjay is telling, that seeing the his relatives, and then Sanjaya said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his body and his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears. Tam tatha kripaya vishtam. Kripaya vishtam means overwhelmed with the compassion. And asnupur kulekshanam means his eyes full of tears. So his eyes full of tears, and then he full of his mind is depressed. And in this, seeing when Krishna saw Arjuna in this way, then he started speaking. What Krishna spoke, that is there the next sloka. Right? Then in this chapter, this is a very important chapter as such. If you see that the discussion is there, in the sense Krishna is speaking about the mind in the what is the material body and what is the relation with the soul. Right? This is in the second chapter. Actually, second chapter, the whole philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, in the sense, in the nutshell, that's it. The name of the second chapter is the content of Gita summarized. So in this chapter, Krishna speaks about the body and then soul, and then about the fruitive activities, like what way we can do the work so that we'll not get entangled with the results. And then at the end, he talks about the sthit prajna, that he's not bothered what is happening, in the sense he's fully self-realized person. What is the symptom of that person? So that's what is there in the whole chapter. Now in this sloka, the Srila Prabhupada is giving very, very nice purport, what we read. So the first line of the purport, Prabhupada tells, the material compassion, lamentation and tears are sign of ignorance. Right? For compassion for the eternal soul is self-realization. So for the eternal soul, the compassion, if you want to sow the eternal soul, is to know the self-realization. And what is the self-realization? Anybody, any guess? We are not this body. We are the soul. We are the part and parcel of Krishna. And somehow or other, we have come to this world and we got entangled in this. And then we are suffering in this world for life after life. We don't know how many lives we are here. For so many millions of life we are there here in different bodies. Sometimes I take a birth of a man, sometimes woman, sometimes a living, sometimes animal. But we just keep transmigrating from one body to another body, and we keep suffering. The moment we will know, no, I am not this body, then that means I am separate from this body. We see now that the person dies. What happens at the time of death? The body remains the same, but the soul is not there. Right? So what Prabhupada is telling, material compassion, lamentation and tears are all sign of ignorance of real self. So when we don't know who am I, what is my real self is, we will be doing the material lamentation. What is material lamentation? That I am going to kill somebody as such. Or this body is my body. Right? But this body is my for this birth. And tomorrow I get another body. Right? So like that, we are part and parcel of Krishna. When we forget this, we get entangled in this body. Right? Now Srila Prabhupada gives a very good example. What example is there in the purport? The example is, like suppose a person is drowning in the ocean. Okay? And another person goes and then tries to protect that person. He also jumps. He also jumps in the ocean to protect that person. But what happens? Somehow other he can only bring the outer garment of the person. So is it okay? The person dies. Right? The person who is drowning, a person jumps in the ocean to save that person, but somehow or other he only brings the outer garment. And then person dies in. So that's not okay. So when we say that the real compassion is what? Real compassion is to protect the person, not the garment. So similarly, our body is like our garment. And we are trying to do so many things to protect our body. It's no doubt that we should protect, but it's not at the end of it. Like for all the people, what we are seeing, everybody is trying to do so many things to protect the body, to safeguard the body, to do different types of things to maintain I remain young always. So the life is not this body. We are seeing every year a new gadget comes, right? A new mobile comes. But more and more these gadgets are coming, more and more these mobiles are coming, more and more new things are coming. We are becoming isolated more and more. And that's the reason we see more and more depression is happening, right? If you see the data is said like in US from 2000 to 2020, the increase in the society is 30% increase has happened. But if you see in the materially, so much progress has happened. So many new things have come, so many new medicines have come, so many new gadgets have come. The Apple phone has come, the iPad has come, I don't know, so many things have come. But these things are not making the self which is there inside happy. Because we are not knowing exactly who am I. I'm the soul, I'm not this body. And since we don't know that we are the soul, the body, we don't try to satisfy the soul, we try to satisfy the body. And that's the reason, even after doing so many things, we are not happy. We are always in distress. So that's what Krishna is telling. The real compassion is the compassion to know that what is the real self. And then what I should do after knowing it is the real compassion. So Prabhupada is writing in the purport. Similarly, a man fall in the ocean of nescience in the material world, right? Cannot be saved simply by rescuing his outward cloth. And what is the outward cloth or the dress? A body. So, this is foolishness to just protect the body and not the soul. The real compassion is the compassion on the soul who is suffering for millions of life on different body after body I am suffering. So real compassion is that. Now, who gives the real compassion? Like we just recited, Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu, right? Karuna Sindhu in the sense, he is the ocean of compassion. Ocean of compassion, Karuna Sindhu. So the real compassion, most compassionate person, supremely compassionate person is Krishna. Right? And the devotees of Krishna, being the representative of Krishna, carry the same spirit of compassion, what Krishna is having. So the real devotee is one who extends the compassion of the Lord, the Krishna, to all the suffering humanity. Right? That is the real compassion, and that's what a devotee does. And that's the reason it's called a Vaishnava is one who is paradukh dukhi. Paradukh dukhi in the sense what? In the sense, when a devotee sees suffering of others, he becomes distressed. He feels sadness in his heart. It is like opposite to cruelty. What is cruelty? A person is cruel means when he sees somebody suffering, I'll be very happy. I'll be satisfied. Yeah, this person is not in a good position. He's lower than me. He is something different. He is my position much higher. So all these things is something which is a symptom of a person who is not a Vaishnava. A Vaishnava is one who is paradukh dukhi. He is sad in seeing the sadness of others. And then what he does? A devotee is paradukh dukhi. Now to mitigate the suffering of others, what he does? He don't care for his own conveniences. I should be happy. But he is not taking care of his own convenience. But go all over the world. And what he does? And enlighten the suffering humanity to connect them back to Krishna. So as to mitigate their suffering. Right? So that is a real devotee. Real devotee is not bothered about his own sufferings. He goes all over the world. We see so many examples in our own ISKCON. So many devotees are there who extend themselves. Like here itself, we had COVID some 2 years ago. Right? So much trouble, so many problems are there for everybody. And what devotees were doing? All over the world, devotees were taking risk of their life and distributing food so that they can help the suffering humanity. That is the real compassion. And it's not a devotee is not getting pain. Devotees also get pain. But then he is always grateful. A real devotee is one who always grateful for whatever he gets. Even he gets pain, he is grateful to the Lord. He thinks that I must have done something wrong in my previous life, or my previous deeds are not good. So that's the reason this suffering is coming. But Krishna is reducing the suffering. He is only giving a token of the suffering which I am supposed to get, but the wrongs I have done. So that is the mood of a devotee. Right. So in our parampara also, the extreme compassion. There's a devotee called Vasudeva Datta. Right? Vasudeva Datta was the associate of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he prayed to the Lord. Seeing the suffering of so many persons in this world, he prayed to Mahaprabhu that, "Oh Lord, please give the suffering of everyone to me. Let I go to hell, but make them devotee so that they can go back to Godhead." That is the extreme compassion shown by Vasudeva Datta. See, we are suffering in this world, right? Day to day something happens to us. Why we are suffering? We are suffering because we have done something, sin in our previous life, or in the past, sometime before. And that's what is coming up. Now for our own sin, we are having so many troubles. For one single hour, myself. Now a person is telling, "You give the sin of whole world to me. Let everybody becomes devotee and they go back to Godhead." Then we can think of that what is the extreme compassion. The nature of a devotee is represented by Vasudeva Datta. Similarly, who prayed? Prahlad Maharaj prayed. Prahlad Maharaj also prayed to Narasimhadev. When Narasimhadev appeared, when Prahlad Maharaj was praying and then Hiranyakasipu cut the pillar, Lord Narasimhadev appeared and he became very ferocious. And then he killed Narasimhadev after the fight. And then he became so ferocious, he was so angry, nobody was having dare to go near to him. Even so many demigods, the Shiva, everybody was there. Lakshmi ji was there. So nobody was having dare. Who will go to Narasimhadev? He is so angry, so ferocious. If you read Bhagavatam, you will know. Then they requested Lakshmi ji, "Lakshmi ji, you please go. Your husband. Please pacify him." So she said, No, I cannot. This form I have never seen. So what happened is, then they told, "Okay, Prahlad Maharaj. Okay, Prahlad, you please go. It is because of you Narasimhadev appeared." So then Prahlad Maharaj prayed. He goes because he's not having any fear. So he prayed to the Narasimhadev. And in these prayers he's telling, and he's again showing the compassionate nature of the devotee. He's telling, for me, I don't have any problem. I go to any place. I can go anywhere. I can always engage in your service. I will always glorify you. So I don't have any issue. I'm only worried for these materialistic persons. In fact, he is using the word fools and rascals. That's what is there in Bhagavatam. I'm worried for these people who are making elaborate plan for themselves, for their families to be happy in this world. But being a temporary world, nobody can be happy. So I'm concerned for these people with love. And then he says, there are so many saintly persons are there who go to Himalayas, do Maun Bharata and all those things for their own deliverance. They are not worried for the people who are there in the cities, big cities and the towns. They are only worried for themselves. But me, I am worried for these people because I want to mitigate their suffering and I want to bring them at your lotus feet, so that their all the miseries can be eradicated. So that is the mood of a devotee. When we see in our own Srila Prabhupada was nicely situated in Vrindavan, right, before going to America. He was at the age of 69 years old when he was there. He went to America. And before that, he was in Vrindavan. He was very peacefully settled there. He was staying in Radha Damodar temple, which is said that Radha Damodar temple is the hub of the spiritual world, where the Samadhi, Rupa Goswami is there, Jiva Goswami is there, and he was there staying so many years writing Bhagavatam. But he left that place. Even after knowing that this is at 69 years old, everybody, old persons, they come to Vrindavan to leave their body. And Srila Prabhupada left Vrindavan to bring Vrindavan to lives of whole world. And the age of 69 year old, when he was 69 year old, he went to America. What for? To extend the compassion of the Lord to the whole suffering humanity of the Western world. That is the compassion. That is another extreme compassion. What Vasudeva Datta showed, what Prahlad Maharaj prayed to Narasimha. And this is the practical example Srila Prabhupada is giving. That devotee, not seeing his own conveniences, go all over the world to enlighten the suffering humanity. And that's what Srila Prabhupada did. At the age of 69 year old, he was the old person, 69 year old. And how much money? He was having only 40 rupees. And he took cargo ship. He traveled for 37 days in a cargo ship. Right? And he suffered 2 heart attacks. With all those sufferings, when he landed in US, he was not knowing anybody there. And then, if you read the Lilamrit, so many struggles Srila Prabhupada encountered when he went there. Somehow or other, he went to US, he got a place to stay. The place was not having the sink, they was not having a washroom. He was staying there. Then after some time, his manuscript, what he wrote for so many years, his typewriter, all these things got stolen. He asked for the help from his godbrothers. Please give. I'm trying to preach the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Western world. But that also, nobody helped him. Then he was expecting the Prime Minister of India will help. He has written letter to him also. He written letter to so many persons. And then that time Prime Minister was Sastri, and he was very much expecting the Sastri will help me, Lal Bahadur Sastri. Then that time that Sastri went to US Tashkent, and there he died. So that last hope also gone. Nothing was there to Srila Prabhupada. And in that case, suffering so much troubles and tribulation, if you read those early days books, how Srila Prabhupada lived there, we'll know that how much pain a Vaishnava takes to mitigate the suffering of others. And then we see in this, he from that 1966, he reached 65 in fact, after traveling for 37 days. And in few years, he was there for 12 years. In first 2-3 years itself, so many devotees, so it's a miracle which has happened. The miracle which has happened. And Srila Prabhupada told, he was having full faith in Krishna. When he was going, he was carrying Srimad Bhagavatam. And he was telling, he told to one of his friend, his godbrother, you see, I don't know English very good. My English is not very good. But my only faith is in this Bhagavatam, which I am carrying with. And this message of Bhagavatam, if it touches anybody, the heart of that person will get purified. And that's what happened. That is the faith Srila Prabhupada was having in Bhagavatam. And words of his Guru, what he told, please go to Western world and preach. And that's what Srila Prabhupada did. And then what for he has done? He's done to show the compassion of a Vaishnava to all the living humanity with suffering. And then we see in 12 years, a miracle has happened. And thousands of disciples was there at that time when Prabhupada was there. He initiated thousands of disciples. And then by the time he left this material world in 1977, ISKCON was having around 107 temples. So all these things shows, like, if you are determined to help others, if you are determined, if you are purified, if you are ready to be the instrument in the hand of God, God will certainly help you. Krishna will certainly help. There is no doubt in that. And that's what is shown by Srila Prabhupada, by his life, what has happened. And then the same thing is continuing. Prabhupada left 1977. And same thing is continuing now by his sincere followers, who following the path of Srila Prabhupada, now also extending themselves, going across the world and preaching the message of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, and helping the suffering humanity. And you see any country, you go to any country, you see the devotees are there. Why the people who are taking up Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, the philosophy of Krishna consciousness? Because it helps. It practically helps. It's not something something is in the theoretical, in the scriptures is there, it's not for me. What do we say? No, it is there. It is there for all of us. And that's the reason, even the people who don't know the things, they just by reading, as Sri Prabhupada told, if a person reads Bhagavatam, it touches the heart, and the heart purifies. So that's what it is shown by Srila Prabhupada in his life. And the same mood is continued till today. I was just reading the data. Till date, around 7 crore Bhagavad Gita has been distributed in the whole world. And then again I was hearing one lecture, instead it is said like devotees have gone to Antarctica and there they are giving the Bhagavad Gita to Eskimos there. So that is the extreme end of compassion. So that is the way the devotee, that is the nature of the devotee. A true devotee is a paradukh dukhi, to mitigate the suffering of all the whole world. They extend themselves. They take all type of inconveniences and help others. So this is what is there in the first sloka. The real compassion is the compassion what we have to show to real self. And that self-compassion is to know who am I. I am not this body, I am the soul. And knowing I am the soul, what I have to do. Another thing in this purport, Srila Prabhupada writing, that Krishna is spoken as Madhusudana. Right? In the sloka, Krishna has been called as Madhusudana. So Madhusudana, it is said like Krishna killed the demon Madhu. So here Krishna has been named as Madhusudan because now the Krishna, as he killed the Madhu demon, now he is going to kill the ignorance of Arjuna. The ignorance of Arjuna is that I am not going to fight. Thinking everybody is a body, as a bodily conception, that I am not going to fight. And now Krishna is going to eradicate the whole misconception of Arjuna, and that's what he's been called as Madhusudana. And Acharyas also tells his name is Madhusudana because Krishna is sweet like Madhu, the honey. And with his sweetness, he will remove all the doubts in the mind of Arjuna. So that's also one of the reasons for him to be called as a Madhusudana. Now, that's what is there in the purport. In addition, today is the most auspicious day, in fact, because today is what is that today? Last day of Kartik. And the last day of Kartik, what is the day today? 8th of November. And today is the Purnima. So we say the Kartik Purnima. And the Kartik Purnima is one of the most auspicious day of the whole year. So whatever we do in this month, it is multifold magnified. Krishna magnifies. He sees a small service also if you do in this for his pleasure. He gives the result, multifold result comes. And today is, of the whole Kartik month, is the most favorite month of Krishna. He likes this month very much. And then out of that month, this day is most auspicious, the Kartik Purnima day. So it's very auspicious day, and it's very good that all of you have come to this temple today. A lot of benefit you will be getting to progress further in your spiritual life. So, what has happened today? In fact, in the whole Kartik month, we sing Damodar Ashtakam. So, you all come here daily to sing Damodar Ashtakam? Okay, so sometime. Okay, right. So, Prabhuji, what time? 7:45? No, if you tell. I have done half. 7:45? Okay, Prabhu. 40? ठीक है. Okay. So, today is the most auspicious day, as I was telling. So, in the whole month, we pray to the Lord by singing Damodar Ashtakam, Namami Ishwaram, and we offer the ghee lamp to the Lord. So, this song is very, very beautiful song. Who has written this song? Anybody knows? Satyavarta Muni. So Satyavarta Muni is speaking this prayer. This is a prayer. The heartfelt prayer of Satyavarta Muni, the devotee, he is speaking to Narada. And that is what's captured in the Padam Purana. And from there, this comes. And then as a Vaishnava, across the world, people sing this song in this month. So this is the song in which a devotee, like prayer, when we do prayer for the Lord, prayer consists of three things. First, we should glorify Krishna, we have to glorify the Lord, the exalted position, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then we have to tell our precarious situation, how much fallen I am, how much difficult condition I am in. And then we should beg for the mercy of the Lord. And that's what is there in this prayer. So, this is very, very nice song it is. We're going to sing after some time. So in this song, it starts with like, it says, Damodar Bhakti Badham. Damodar is bound by what? Bhakti. So Krishna is not bound by rope, as we have seen Damodar Leela, that Mother Yashoda was trying to bind Krishna by rope, but was not able to bind. So how he could be able to bind the Lord? By when the Lord sees that my devotee is trying his best to serve me, then he shows his mercy. And then when he shows the mercy, everything happens. So that's what is the Damodar Leela is. Like Mother Yashoda was trying to bind the Lord, but Lord was not able to be bound. But then when he saw that Yashoda is trying so hard to her service, so he pleased. So that's what is there in the song, that Bhakti Badham. Krishna is bound by love of his devotee. And then he prays, the devotee in the song it prays, Bharam Deva Moksham Na Moksham Badimba. See, I am not asking for any boon of liberation. My only thing is, please be situated in my heart as a Bal Gopal in Vrindavan. That's what is there in this song. So Srila Prabhupada said once, like multiple times he said, like whenever we do something, if you do something as a ritual, in the sense without understanding the meaning, we just sing some song, then that bhava will not come. And Krishna is a bhavagrahi. In the sense, bhavagrahi is Janardhan, we say. So, if you do whatever we do with the bhava, Krishna takes that bhava. So, when we sing the song or we do any prayer to the Lord, we should understand. Otherwise, it becomes ritual. Like somebody comes in our home and then take some money and do some puja. So, it is called ritual, which is not a spirit behind. When the spirit comes in the ritual, then it becomes spiritual. So, when we are going to sing this song, we should know the meaning. So like it said, Bhakti Badham, Krishna is bound by the love of his devotees. Then he's telling, I'm not asking for any impersonal liberation. I don't want any boon from you. I just want you to be situated in my heart as a Bala Gopal in Vrindavan. And then he says, Kripa Drishti Brishyati Dinam Batanu. Kripa Drishti, please shower your glance of mercy on me. Because I am suffering in this world, please shower a glance of mercy on me. And then he ends, Tatha Prema Bhakti. Please give me your Prema Bhakti. Tatha Prema Bhakti Swakame Prayacha. Please give your Prema Bhakti to me. I don't want anything else. So I want your pure devotional service. And that is what the mood is of the devotee. He doesn't want anything material. He wants that I am the soul, I am the part and parcel of you. Please help me to remember you all the time. So that only happens if you put our effort. And that's what is explained in Damodar Leela. The teaching of Damodar Leela is, for anything to be successful, is two things involved. One is our endeavor. And second is, when we put our endeavor to serve the Lord, to worship Krishna, then Krishna shows his mercy. Right? So for any endeavor to be successful, two things are involved. That our endeavor and the mercy of Krishna. And that's the reason when the Mother Yashoda was trying to bind the Lord, always the rope was becoming short. She put all the ropes of her home. He took the ropes from the neighbors everywhere. And she tried binding Krishna. But every time it was short by 2 fingers. That's the pastime of Krishna. So what happens is, like the Acharya explained, this 2 fingers short is showing the 2 things. One is endeavor of Yashodamai, the devotee, endeavor of the devotee, and approval of the Lord. When these 2 things happens, then anything happens. Right? Another thing in this, I hope that you all know the Damodar Leela, right? So Damodar Leela is the pastime in which Krishna, who is the supreme personality of Godhead, who has killed the demon just by touching, like Putana. He just put his leg and then whole thing gone. That Putana killing. He was just sucking the milk, and by sucking the milk, he sucked the life air without any effort. So he was so easily, he killed Kamsa, he killed Sasupal, he killed Jarasandhu, so many persons, so many big demons, he just killed without any effort. That Krishna is becoming fearful by seeing the stick in the hand of her mother, Yashoda. So that is the intimacy of the pastime what our Lord performs with his devotee. In fact, if you see any religion of the world, that intimacy will not find anywhere. The God is just running as a small baby, and the devotee is chasing to beat. And the Lord, the Krishna, is crying. That also is there in the song. And that the kajal, that the mascara, what is put, it is coming out. So that is the kind of intimacy Krishna shows with his devotees. So that's what is happened on the day of Deepavali in this month, the Kartik month. Another pastime, what happened that is the Govardhan Puja in this Kartik month. That happened just few days after the Deepavali. And then Govardhan Leela is another Leela of the Lord, where he shows how he protects his devotee. That is the reason this pastime Krishna performs. Krishna performs so many pastimes. What for he performs so many pastimes? Just to attract the people so that they can come to him. So sometimes he comes himself to attract the people like us, and sometimes he sends his empowered devotees like Srila Prabhupada and so many devotees who are serving the humanity by preaching Krishna consciousness. So in the Govardhan Leela, I think I'll finish in 5 minutes more. Probably told me 7:40. So in Govardhan Leela is like Indra. You know that Indra is also devotee of the Lord. But sometimes devotee of the Lord also become arrogant, seeing his position, right? So he become arrogant. Now Krishna wanted to teach a lesson to the Indra. So every year the Brajvasi used to do the offerings to Indra for the rain. Then Krishna told, why you are doing this offering? Don't do an offering. Anyway, he's a demigod. He's supposed to give the rain. You don't have to do offering for the. And that means. Krishna is telling to all of us, when Krishna himself is there, then why you have to is offense to the Krishna that in front of him I am offering to demigod Indra. So that Brajvasis was very fond of Krishna and they stopped offering. When the offering is stopped, then Indra become very furious. Why these people have stopped the offering, which is happening for years together, for generations? Now this small boy has come, and then he is telling to stop the offering. Then he started pouring, he called Sambartka, the most dangerous cloud, and told, go and shower the torrent of rain. It is said that the rains which was coming were not water drops, it was a pillar of water was falling. The thunderbolt, everything was happening. And then seeing all this extreme condition, all the Brajvasis become very much fearful. They came to Krishna. And Krishna, it is said like Krishna, without any effort, like a small baby, lift the mushroom. He lifts the Govardhan in his left hand with his small finger. And this small finger, he lifts the Govardhan for 7 days and 7 nights. And for 7 days and 7 nights, whole Vrindavan was there inside the Govardhan, along with Krishna. And Krishna was standing with the Govardhan on his hand. And everybody, the cows, the calves, the gopis, the gopas, the birds, the peacocks, everyone, they are just seeing Krishna. And the Krishna is speaking to them and giving sideline glances. So they are speaking, their reciprocation is happening. And then everybody is satisfied seeing the Giridhari standing. So this is the pastime Krishna performed. And then after 7 days, when the Indra sees nothing is happening, then he realized, I have made a mistake. Then he's trying to, who is that? Then he realized, his Supreme Personality of Godhead is there now, appeared in Vrindavan. And then he wanted to go to do the forgiveness. Then what happens is, like, he goes and asks He goes and asks his teacher, Brahspati, what should I do? Then he tells, okay, you go and ask Surabhi. Surabhi is very much loving, Krishna is very much loving the Surabhi cow. So the Indra goes, he prays to the Lord, he put his helmet in front of Krishna and he makes the prayers and Krishna becomes pleased, and then the Airavata put the water on the Lord, the Surabhi put the milk, the Abhishek of Krishna happens, and that day Krishna is declared as Govinda, the benefactor of cows and his devotees. So, in our life also, when we see so many troubles and tribulations, we see sometimes everything's fine, sometimes so many problem comes, right? So that problem, when we take the shelter of Giridhari, Krishna extend that Govardhan, the mercy, the way he extended Govardhan, lifted Govardhan and protected the whole Vrindavan. When we see in our life, the troubles are there, so many issues are coming, we are depressed, what to do? We should to pray to Krishna, please, the way you have protected the Vrajvasis, please protect me. Then Krishna lifts the Govardhan of mercy and bring all of us inside that to give protection to all of us. So that is the message of Govardhan Leela. In fact, I have put very, very short, in fact, the prayers in the sense, Vrajvasis making a lot of offerings and then Krishna accepting all their offering, all those things are there. So I am not having the time, I've been told to complete in this thing. So these are the pastimes which is performed. In fact, one more pastime was happened on this day. Today is the day when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered Vrindavan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from Krishna. He was here, performed his pastime for 48 years. Out of that 48 years, for 2 months he was there in Vrindavan. So that today is the day when Mahaprabhu entered Vrindavan. He went there, he went to all the 12 banas, he does the different pastime places of Krishna, and then he used to go to Imli Tala, do the chanting, all those things. So that today is the day when Srila Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Vrindavan. Today is another day, another significance is today is the Deep Deepavali also. Like in North India they celebrate. So today is Deep Deepavali is the Deepavali for the demigods. So like our Deepavali is on the Amavasya. So on the Purnima is the Deep Deepavali. What happens that demigods perform their Diwali. So they descend in Varanasi, there's a place, they do the Arati. Now also the big festival happens in front of the big Arati of Ganga Arati and all those things happens. And one most important thing, what happened today, Krishna performed his last Leela pastime. Today is the day, Kartik Purnima. So Krishna performed Ras Leela 2 days. One is the Sarad Purnima and one is the Kartik Purnima. So this region, Kartik Purnima is also called Ras Purnima in the West Bengal side. So today is very auspicious day. It's good that all of you have come here. Krishna will be very much pleased with your endeavor to come here and then attend the programs which is going on here. So thank you very much. If you are having any question, please. Right. If you are having any question, you can ask, or else we'll stop. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.